Here's what's happening in Dallas, Texas, and today we are talking about Prosper, which is about 35 miles north of Dallas, and we're covering everything that is happening with all of the school development up there. On top of that, I'm going to share with you a couple of articles, especially the new arts district that is going in the Prosper area. On top of that, I'll share with you some market data and what this means to you as a homeowner in the area. So let's go on site and see all the construction that's happening with the high school.
My name is Levi Lascsak with the Living in Dallas, Texas team, and Prosper is growing fast. Now, to accommodate this growth, several new elementary schools, middle schools, and even this massive high school is getting constructed right now to make room for about 45,000 students. Now, first up, we're at Richland High School, which is just right off of Teal Parkway and First Street. Right up the road, you can see we're right here, right at the townhomes of Windsong Ranch, and the construction of Richland High School is going on right behind me. This is the fourth high school in Prosper, and it broke ground in August of 2023 and is set to open in August of 2025. The Richland Raiders, which are touting purple, black, and gray, will have an academic building spanning 530,000 square feet, a 75,000 square foot multi-purpose building, a 1,000 seat auditorium, and a 2,200 seat arena. This comes just 2 years after Prosper's third high school, Walnut Grove, opened its doors to students. Now, going down south at the corner of Coit Road and Prestwick Hollow Drive is the site of Prosper's fifth middle school, Daniel L. Jones Middle School. We're right across the street from Rock Hill High in the south side of the district. Now, the school is expected to open in August 2024 and will hold about 1,100 students to 1,200 students. Elementary schools that will feed into the Jones Middle are Hughes Elementary, Baker Elementary, and Reeves Elementary, giving Hayes Middle School a little more breathing room. And next up is the Betty Jackson Elementary School. It's on the northeast corner of Hillcrest Road and Alvera Drive. This middle school is also slated to open in August 2024 and will feed directly into Hayes Middle School just across from Alvera Drive. Now, those are the two main schools coming up this year, but there's 4 more slated for August of 2025, which include 2 elementary schools, which are both unnamed at this point. Elementary school number 19 is going to be located in the Legacy Gardens community just north of West Prosper Trail and east of Dallas Parkway. The $39.5 million school will be the last elementary school built out of the district's 2019 bond program and will serve this western portion of Prosper ISD. There are also plans to build a middle school to the west of the elementary school, but no further updates just yet. Elementary school number 20, which will be located in Mosaic, which we have done a few videos for, so if you haven't seen those yet, make sure you take a look. And the school cost around $38.6 million and will sit adjacent to the Creeks of Legacy community. Mosaic has all sorts of amenities such as pools, hiking and biking trails, and an amenity center. Prosper ISD also has a spot for future middle school and future high school adjacent to Mosaic, but until then, the students in this community will attend Rushing Middle School and Prosper High School. Now, moving on from the elementary schools, there is a middle school in the works as well, and this is located at Avocet Lane and Teal Parkway in the community of Windsong Ranch. Moseley Middle School will be the 6th middle school in Prosper ISD and opens in August of 2025 and will cater to the kids in the community. And we also have several videos on Windsong Ranch itself, so you should definitely check those out if you want to learn a little bit more specifically about Windsong Ranch. And of course, everyone loves Windsong Ranch because of the 5-acre lagoon that is there that gives you a beach-like feel in the middle of Dallas. And another Windsong Ranch news, a few model homes have popped up in the community, one from Normandy Homes and the other from Southgate Homes. The Versailles model is a 4-bedroom, 4-bath home starting at 3,423 square feet, and prices for this model start in the low 800s. The other model is from Southgate Homes and is a 3-bed, 3-bath, 1,999 square foot home listed at $839,000.
All right, now we're back in the office, and I want to share with you a couple of quick articles before we get into the market data. Now, if we take a look here, you can see this article recently came out and says Prosper's progress. Prosper ISD outlines hypersonic growth patterns at annual address. So you can see that the growth happening up in North Dallas is tremendous. And this Dr. Ferguson says that she remembers when Prosper had 700 students. Now she's saying they're lucky if they were to have 700 students just in an elementary school. So that shows you right there that the growth rate is happening quickly. But look at this. Prosper ISD is projected to have 36,620 students by the 2026-2027 school year and 44,000 students by 2031. And if you scroll down here a little bit more, they're projecting even up to 55,000 students coming on board. So the schools that they are building here are absolutely massive. They are better than some of the community colleges here in the North Dallas area. And so it's pretty amazing to see what's happening. And that's why so many people are moving up here, because the school systems are highly rated. And of course, they're part of the public education system. So they're not having to pay for that private school school to get good quality education. Now, let me jump in here too. And also, as I mentioned, I was going to update you on the Prosper Arts District, set to become a landmark destination. You can see zoning has been approved for a 35-acre mixed-use development at northwest corner of Dallas North Tollway and Prosper Trail. So you can see here a little bit more about that in partnership with Capitalized Ventures. Okay, and so the Arts District, they announced this just recently as last month, June 18th. So you can see here, it will become a landmark destination at the coveted northwest corner of Dallas North Tollway and Prosper Trail. Here's the main part. We will feature 3 distinct hotel concepts, 550 multifamily units, and a retail village centered around a planned water feature offering outdoor experiences for visitors and residents. So that sounds like a lot of fun. You can see here the main picture as well, and it looks like it's going to be a really cool spot just right up the road on Prosper. Easy access from the tollway. Of course, you know everything else that's happening just south of Prosper with the Universal Kids Resort. So there's going to be a lot to do up here in the North Dallas area very soon. Now, reading further down here, it says the project's unique design in a prepared statement. Our goal was to honor Prosper's rich agrarian history. I think that's how you say it, right? Agrarian. And if I'm wrong on that, let me know in the comments. Reflecting its early 1900s origins and the legacy of its people and businesses by integrating local architectural elements with Capitalized Ventures' visionary approach. They redefine mixed-use living and community engagement in North Texas. So sounds like a pretty cool spot. But what does this mean to you as a homeowner here in the Prosper area? Well, let me just get rid of this and show you that home prices are going up significantly. And if you look at over the last 5 years, which by the way, anybody that we ever talk to about buying a home, we hope that you plan to stay in that home for a minimum of at least 3 years. And if that's the case, you should be okay on any type of resale opportunity, most likely. Of course, I can't guarantee that. But let's just look at the last 5 years, what's happened. We can see here that, let's look at July of 2019. You can see right here, the median home price in Prosper was $495,000. Could you imagine trying to find a home in Prosper for that right now? Well, actually, you might find a couple of new construction opportunities that could depend, but look at the amount of growth. Of course, 2020, 2021 spurred a lot of that, but you can even see here that right now we're sitting at the median price in Prosper for $925,000. That means as a homeowner in the Prosper area, you're sitting on average of about $430,000 in equity if you bought sometime in 2019. So imagine that. Depending on where you bought or where you're located at, it's imperative that you understand your home's value, because if you're thinking about, making that move anytime soon, whether that's upgrading, downgrading, heading over to Salina, heading down to downtown Dallas, maybe moving out of state, you've got to look at the market right now. And right now, the Fed just announced that they might be cutting rates in September. And if that's the case, we know a lot of people that are sitting on the sidelines. So we're kind of in this catch-22 type of market where we're in a seller's market based on inventory, but it's really a buyer's market because buyers are able to negotiate. Homes are not selling as fast as they were, and that's really pre-existing homes. So if you have a pre-existing home, depending on how it's been maintained or how it's been updated since 2019, just realize that you are competing with new construction homes right now, and the communities that are popping up, especially with the amenities, bring a lot of competition to the table. So if you have a pre-existing home that you're thinking about selling, you want to keep this in mind because you're up against a rock and a hard place. Now, the thing is that, okay, maybe you don't want to sell right now because you think it's too expensive to buy, but there's a lot of opportunities that you can do that will give you the advantage as a buyer right now. And as you can see, if we look back on this graph, you might be at the peak. Now, the interesting thing is look, I don't know anybody that can time the market perfectly. Plus, there's a lot of people out there right now, especially on YouTube, that have been saying the market's going to crash since 2020. And we can see what's happened since then. I mean, drastic price increases. I mean, on average in Prosper, you have increased 53% of the value of your home. Now, on average, if home prices increase by about 4 or 5% per year, that's pretty good. But 53% just in Prosper alone, that's a significant increase. Now, we always talk about seasonality seasonality, and a lot of people buy in the spring and summer and less buy in the fall and winter. It happens every single year. We see prices peak in the summer and then they start to come down in fall and winter. However, that's usually the best time to buy, but most people won't buy at that time because they're in the middle of the school, life is in the way, and they would just prefer to move during summer, which that ends up costing you tens of thousands of dollars. But we can see last year, actually, I made a move last year in February of 2023. Travis and I both did, and we recommended this many times before that now might be a good time to buy. And you can see at this dip, we were trying to time the market, but again, I've never really been that successful at timing the market. What we've always been good at is looking for the right deal in no matter what market it is. And so you can see we kind of bought at a low point as well. And now you look at the increase over time, and even going into, let's see, January of 2024 and February of 2024 and March and April, in that winter lull before things start to spike, we didn't see that dip on seasonality. So that is a problem. We know that inventory is still an issue, despite what people say, that you're going to see a lot of information coming out that inventory is flooding the market. You're going to see 40, 50, 60% increases in inventory, but you have to look at that in relevance to the population here in, Collin County especially, which is north of Dallas. So if you think about this, on average to Collin County in the last 5 years, there has been 189,000 people that have come into Collin County alone in the last 5 years. That's on average 37,000 per year. Okay, so even if you look at the current listings right now, which sits around 4,500 or so at the current time, is that enough to fulfill 37,000 people, which is about 3,000 per month if we break that down? So even right now, inventory is low in consideration to the amount of people that are out there looking to buy, and they are sitting on the sideline. And now you can see here, even over this summer, we didn't see that dip in the winter time. We did a little bit in fall, and that would have been another good time. But now we're moving into fall and winter as we get a little bit closer to that, which might be an ideal time to buy. But also right now, you're at the peak possibly for selling. So you kind of have this catch-22 again. But the thing about this is that most people that say the market's going to crash, let's just pretend the market does crash in the next 6 months to a year. Well, if it does that and home values drop significantly and you're planning to sell, what does that do to you as a seller? That benefits you as a buyer, but not as a seller. So if you were to sell now or consider selling now, you have prices still at highs and some almost hitting all-time highs as well in the market. But you have opportunity to negotiate as a buyer. So depending on where you want to go and move to, which a lot of people are making their move up to Salina, which you're finding a lower price point in Salina, almost 300,000 less on the median home price in Salina than Prosper. So if you don't mind going a little bit further north, you have that opportunity there as well. So that could be an option, and you might even be able to pocket some equity based on what you have. Again, if you're in Prosper on average with 430,000 in equity and you're able to buy a 300,000 less priced home in Salina, you might be able to keep a lot of that. And again, remember, if you're single, up to 250,000 of that could be tax-free. If you're married, up to 500,000 of that could be tax-free. So there are some options out there, but I think as a seller right now, this might be one of your best times if you're thinking about selling to consider that, because prices are peaking right now. And if we do see a market crash, then it's not going to be good for someone that's looking to sell in 6 months or a year. But I don't believe that a significant crash is coming. Okay. Now, if we go in here and again, look back to, let's go max and let's look at 2009. You can see September 2009, it got down to as low as 230,000 here. But by 2010, it was back up to 379. But you can see, I mean, there's really not a lot of huge dips right here. That's almost steady. It could be flat if you were to average this out. But once 2012, 2013 started happening, especially with all the growth that happened in Frisco, then that started to push everything up north at this time. And now you can see a steady increase just over time. And then of course, 2020, 2021, 2022 just skyrocketed the prices here in Prosper, especially Frisco became so popular, but Frisco's capped out. You know, they're not adding too much there. And Salina, which has a population of about 30,000 right now, 30 to 40,000, is permitted for almost 400,000 for population. So Salina is going to be growing significantly, and that could be an alternative if you're looking to get a little bit of a lower priced home or to buy. And again, right now as a buyer, you do have opportunity to negotiate. and possibly get concessions, especially if you're looking at new builds. Builders are willing to negotiate right now. They're not crashing and burning like a lot of people are saying they are, but they are willing to negotiate. Almost every place that we go to, builders are offering incentives up to $50,000 most of the time, and even rates in the 4s, maybe even in the high 3s, just depending on the situation. But you can buy down rate, and if you believe rates are going to fall, which now the Fed is indicating that, maybe even up to 2 points, which if that brings rates down to 5%, trust me, everyone's going to come back in the market. House prices are going to jump significantly. And would that be good for you as a seller? Yes. But then if you have to turn around and buy, guess where you're at as well. So the best thing is that it's best to just talk through your situation ultimately. And of course, you can find out what your home is worth in the description below. But more importantly, if you missed the update on the HEB takeover, that's the next video that you have to watch, because that is going to be very interesting for the Dallas market as well. And we look forward to seeing you on the next video.